Hello, my name is Luis Chavez. I'm a photographer and wedding filmmaker based out of Southern California. And today I want to talk about the Ricoh GR III. It's a compact camera that I've been using for 9 months now, and it's become one of my favorite cameras that I've ever shot with. So I wanted to make a video about it. I primarily shoot with Sony, a little bit of Canon, and I don't know if this is the same for anybody else that does events or weddings or anything like that, or shoots with cameras for work. After a while, for your personal work, it just doesn't feel like something you want to do. I'd rather just shoot on my phone if I'm going to shoot anything rather than shoot with my work cameras, because those cameras are for work. So I was initially looking for something that I could take anywhere and still shoot nice photos that are not just on my phone, so I can keep growing my skills and honing my skills without having to carry a lot of big stuff with me. So I came across this little camera, the Ricoh GR III. And I mean, if you clicked on this video, you kind of know a little bit about it, but if you don't, I mean, it's not from the top of my head, but the Ricoh GR III is a compact 24 megapixel APS-C format camera with a 28 equivalent f2.8 lens. So this lens, although it's a 28 millimeter, it's, a lot of people would say, is not wide enough for like landscapes, but I think is a perfect focal length. I usually like to stick with 35, but 28 has become one of my favorite focal lengths so far because of just the versatility. When I take this on walks or on little vacations, when I used to go on vacations, it was very easy for me to take this out and shoot. I mean, the camera, it powers on very quickly. Not even a second and you're ready to go and shoot. Besides that, the menu system is super intuitive and really easy, and it has like a little sub menu system that you can use to set different things that you might want to access very quickly, like different like film emulations or picture profiles on your camera, or the focusing distance in your camera, or even the file format. So if you just want to shoot on JPEGs or RAW or both, depending on what you feel like shooting, it's very powerful. Typically I shoot in RAW with everything I do, just because I like that flexibility. And for me as a digital photographer, I just like to have all that data to play around with, because even though a photo is taken, half of the fun for me is also editing that photo. Although the colors coming out of the Ricoh are just insanely good already, but I just like to have that flexibility to just play around with them as much as I want. The photo quality coming out of this camera is insane. I've said it time and time again, it's even though it's a little bit bulkier than my phone, I 100% feel more ready to take a good photo with this camera. It's not too bulky, it doesn't intimidate anybody. I can take as many photos as I want. Lately, what I've been doing on my daily walks with my wife, we go to a couple of cities over and take photos of, you know, just us walking down the street at people's houses, because they have such beautiful houses in this particular city in Claremont. And usually if you were to take your big DSLR camera or any type of big camera with you, people tend to notice it and maybe think that you're up to no good, even though you're just taking photos of cool houses as you walk. So this doesn't really intimidate anybody. I've taken pictures of this as I walk down the street and nobody even looks at me. So it's really helpful, because like I said, I just like to take pictures of anything and everything. So this has been really a game changer for me. One thing to note about this camera, although it takes video, I have never used it for video. The video is just not very good in my opinion. Another drawback for this camera, it's not cheap. It's a point and shoot. It's $8.99 for me. I think for me as someone who likes specialty cameras, I think the price is fair. I don't mind the $8.99 price for this, but I know a lot of people who are spending a little bit of money on their cameras, they want to have more bang for your buck. So if you're looking for a camera that has like a flexibility of a zoom, you're not going to find it in this. This is a fixed lens. So if you wanted to get any closer, you have to walk very close to your subject, or if you want to get farther away, you have to walk back. So that's something to keep in mind if you're kind of looking at this camera. There's been some reports that this camera overheats, or at least gets warm. It does get warm to the touch, but nothing that makes me uncomfortable. I shoot all day long with this, and even though it gets a little bit warm, it doesn't really bother me too much. I wish that the battery life was a little bit better, but the batteries are so small that you don't really notice them carrying in 2 or 3 of them. These small little batteries, it's not gonna affect you. I would feel comfortable carrying 2 or 3 at a time to keep shooting as much as I want. So if you're looking for a camera that's both really fun to shoot and really flexible without having the bulk of a traditional DSLR, and you're fine with having a fixed focal length, I think this is a killer camera. I think other than the X100V from Fujifilm, you're not going to find anything else with this much power and such a small compact camera, especially if you like something like street photography. I'm not that experience with street photography, but I know a lot of street photographers really like shooting with this, and yeah, I highly recommend it with anybody that's looking for something to just keep around the house or take with you on walks or for family stuff. But I would even be comfortable shooting this as taking this as an extra camera for behind the scenes for weddings or events, anything like that. I think the sensor really packs a lot of punch for what it is, and I think it's a great addition to anybody's kit. So thank you so much for watching. This is my very first YouTube video, so I hope that it's informative to anybody who's looking for this camera. I know it's been a really fun camera for me to shoot with, and if anybody has any questions on how to shoot or what it's like to own this camera, leave it in the comments below, and if you like this, give it a like. So thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.